Hey,
Hey, it's
um,
working, I think.
hey,
Yeah,
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
yeah.
I had terrible gremlins last week too. So, hey, look at this.
There
Oh,
we go.
look at
Sorry, but I
that.
don't know
Hey,
what happened.
hey. So, I'm Johnny Fox. This is Sniktcast, and right there we have two of lesbian bed death, goth sleaze rock. First question. I want to be more of a conversation always than an interview. It's more fun that way. But I've got to ask, having done a bit of research, how many lineup changes has there been since we agreed to do this podcast?
I can't count that high.
Seems to be a thing that happens.
To
So
be fair.
Has it
anyway,
been a few? I'm
I,
assuming.
I need a degree in mathematics to work that out. Uh,
so at the risk of look, I'm sure if you're watching this, whether you're watching it now live or if you're watching it later on YouTube or in Reels, I'm sure you're already a big LBD fan and you already know the basics, but you don't want to hear them again. But there's always that first person. There's always that new fan to get. So, if you want to give us the abridged history highlights.
okay. All right, I'll keep it super quick. I'm Dan. I'm the founder member of the band. I got the name of the band from a TV program because everyone always asks that. I got it from a TV show. And yeah, it's kind of like horror punk, goth, sleaze, heavy metal sort of mashup. I've been doing this for way too long, and we've made some albums.
Since
People
the
have
dawn
come,
of
people have
time.
gone, and we've like I don't know really. We just we're a band who make albums, and I believe that the band is better than ever now. And the last two albums are our best two easily, and I think the new one's probably my favourite. And yeah, we're just all about going forward now and not worrying too much
Yeah,
about.
you've got
Yeah,
quite a slow tour dates coming up. Yeah.
yeah. We're busier now than ever. Yeah, so we've got
Keep him busy. We've got to keep busy.
we do. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm loving the shark onesie, JJ. It's amazing.
Thank you. It has like a whole back and everything. Like, where's the tail? I don't understand. Yeah, there's my fin. Honestly,
You
it
know,
is
you
the
know
most
what? I
comfiest
was,
thing.
funnily enough, so not quite the same thing, but I was only I threw it out there earlier today with someone. You know, I don't know if they're still around, but there was a bit of a fad for like rec rooms, but not recreational rooms. Like you could just go in and smash shit up. You know,
Oh,
get
right,
get out your tension
like
and stuff.
rage rooms and stuff.
Yeah, rage rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I was
there's one
thinking,
there's one near me.
I
Yeah.
I'd like my take on that would be, get dressed up as like a giant lizard or a giant robot and like stomp on a model village. I would love that.
Full
I would do that
That'd
for
Godzilla.
be
fun.
amazing.
With no issues, I would just pay for that.
Mm.
It's kind of a some people like see the pyramids, swim with dolphins, bucket list stuff. I want to kaiju the shit out of a model village. It's a genuine life goal for me.
You want to just like stamp all over a
I
village?
Yeah,
think the closest I've got is standing on Lego, and that wasn't great. So never
yeah, but
again.
but we all know Lego is true evil.
I
It
just,
is. It
Uh,
is.
so yeah, so albums out, tour dates in the works. Uh, Everybody knows where you get the name from. So uh, inspirations, either just like from back in the day. What got you? What made you think you could be in a band in the first place? Now, what
Um,
bands that made you go, I could do that, or that looks so
I
cool,
think it's
or
just
however.
sheer bloody mindedness, really, because I couldn't say anything. um, when I was very young, I think I just idolized Guns N' Roses like everyone else of my age at the time, and I wanted to be in a band because of Guns N' Roses and Skid Row and bands like that. And then I became obsessed with who else? Wild Hearts, Danzig, Misfits, that kind of stuff, and the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. And I naturally ended up in a band that was completely different. I was the guitarist in a band called Razorwire, which is like sort of a hardcore metal, rap metal kind of thing. Imagine like Pantera mixed with Rage Against the Machine and stuff.
Right.
So we did that, and when that was kind of on, it was dying a death. I did Lesbian Bed Death was a side project to get something else out of my system, to get like my sort of glam goth kind of vibes out of my system. It was only going to be a side project that was going to last for one album, and then that was going to be it. But people actually liked it. and, and it soon became way more popular than my regular band, and it had legs. So it started off. It's always been a bit of a mess for that reason. It was never supposed to be a proper band. Then we tried making it a real band, and then you find you in a band with people who aren't on the same page, if you know what I mean. And then people come and people go, and there's a different story between every lineup change, but it's difficult. You got to keep it together, and eventually it kind of, you get a bunch of people who stick, if you like.
I slithered my way in.
yeah, she slithered in like a little shark snake.
Yeah, shark snake.
Yeah,
a weird combination. What kind of do you reckon you've always been into like music, like from the get-go though, Dan? Some people it's like, oh, it's what I was born to do and blah blah.
No, not really. I was into, I think my first like musical love was I was into Michael Jackson when I was about 10 or 11. And then I got into like Bon Jovi, and then straight into Guns N' Roses and stuff. So by the time I was 13, I was like a full-on metalhead who also loved punk and goth. And because I'm from rural Shropshire, you didn't really get the divides of the goths, the metal kids, the punks. It was the same 5 people who liked all that stuff, because there weren't really many people there. Because they're a bunch of sheep, you know what I mean? It's the countryside, isn't it? So we didn't really have those sort of boundaries. So we just used to, me and my mates used to go see like every band who came to Wolverhampton, which was about a 45-minute trip away. We saw everybody that came round, and we just became obsessed, and went from there, really.
You know what? What's a bit sad? What's a bit sad is that's also almost like fucking word for word my origin story, and yet you're out there with fucking 6 albums and an upcoming tour, and I've got to sit in my spare room and talk to you about it.
Hey, either.
Try 8 albums.
Because I'm done with that shit. I don't think I could do it again. I think for me it was the as we kind of alluded to, the reliance on other people, finding those people who gel and stick. And
it's taken me 20 years. I'll tell you something really. This is something really, really awful now when you think about it. Is the vast majority of bands in this world, big or small, there's always 1 or 2 people who are the driving force in that band. They're the ones who do the writing, the organising, the everything, and the other 2 or 3 will be the ones who just turn up and play. I'm not saying that's the same with our bands now. We've got a really, really good lineup where everyone's together, but in the past it was very much like that. And JJ was very similar to me with her bands before she joined us. I'll let you talk. I'm just talking constantly now, Jay. You have a chat.
You're saving me, to be fair, because I'm like, diseased shark or whatever.
You're currently being digested by sharks. I mean, what do you want? I mean,
it ate me. Yeah. So, what did you want me to carry on from that? Like,
about mishaps and your musical backgrounds and about.
Oh right, okay. So
running the show
from the get-go is like not to be that atypical thing, but it was always like music is what I want to do. Like when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure like one of my first shows is just me like singing along to something on the tally. I had like a little karaoke machine as a kid, always loved singing. And then I was always in like school choirs and the school plays and whatever, like anything I could get my hands on, like if it was to do with performing, I would do it. And that's always been the same, like, like a center of attention kind of thing. And then when I was in college, I started this band called Mishaps. And it was just like an indie rock band with me and like 3 of my other friends. And that was sort of like, you kind of like lead it and stuff like that, and kind of relying on other people sometimes can be really difficult because you don't know the second that everybody else gets on a different page, it starts to cause problems and everything breaks down. And, you know, when you're there, like, music's all I want to do, it can be quite frustrating. So I was in a bit of a predicament with my other band. And then Dan messaged me. We know the exact date, like, we have a LBD anniversary now, don't we?
Yeah, the James anniversary.
Yeah, JJ anniversary, that's it, that's what we're calling it. And you know, in February last year, I just got a message that pretty much has changed my whole life. Because before I joined LBD, yeah, I'd never sung rock in my life. I'd never sung rock vocals. I was some indie singer that was too scared to go above a certain octave and above a certain volume kind of thing. And I'd never done proper gigs, just sort of like basement dweller gigs, you know, that in front of like 6 people, 6 of my friends. So it was just a massive step up. But you know, they worked with me. Dan especially worked with me, helped me develop both musically, but then like as a person as well, with my confidence, because I wasn't very confident in myself whatsoever. I struggled like quite a lot, and then over the past year, it's just been this massive journey of, oh my God, this is someone that's exactly the same as me. Like, me and Dan are so similar. It is frightening. Like, you know, we're
I don't have a
basically the same
short
people.
onesie, but apart from that,
You don't have a short onesie, but you know, like, I do. I can wear one for both of us.
I used to have a tiger one back in
A
the
tiger
day.
one.
Yeah. Primark went crazy with tiger onesies about 10 years ago.
I remember that,
Everyone
yeah.
had one. And there's this shocking picture of me outside a McDonald's drive-through early in the morning, like looking like a right mess in this tiger onesie, getting my nasty breakfast.
I need
have
to see
dig
this picture.
out.
Yeah, please dig it
It's rock
out.
bottom as well.
Yeah.
That's my pre-rehab picture. That's the
Pre-rehab pictures. But yeah, I
it's
think
just
with
gone wrong.
everything with like music, it's, you know, not to sound cliche, but I think you reach a certain point in your life, it's all you want to do. And there's, you know, there's two types of people, right? There's people that will enjoy music and they'll do it, and you know, they'll put everything else first because, you know, music's kind of just a hobby as a side. But then you have like really sad people like me and Dan, who we don't care if it like bankrupts us, if it puts us in hospital, you know, no matter what, music comes first.
Yeah.
And you know, you sacrifice everything for that. And so finally, yeah.
I'll jump in and I'll give you a quote. I won't name any names, but
Yeah.
I'll give you a quote from an ex band member of mine when a particular lineup were actually getting some good traction and the things are, you know, coming close to hitting that next level that we all want to get to. And when you're the one who does the organising and the gig booking and this, that, and the other, so you're getting in touch with everyone. Are you available on this date? You know, so you can get the fucking tour lineup sorted. And the guy says to me, "Look, so you're trying to keep down the day jobs and what have you for the time being." I says, "All of my days off are turning into band days." I'm like,
Yeah.
So that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That was the plan.
That's the point. When you're not having to work, you do music stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
it's something very sad. Sorry, butting in again. That's me all over. But if you look at LBD and the tours we've done in the past, they've always been like 2 days here, 1 day there, 3 days maximum, whatever. The tour we did not last year, the year before, I think it was 2022. That was it was our second ever proper tour, like proper tour. Before that, we did one supporting the Birthday Massacre in 2017, and that was having about 7 or 8 days. But prior to that, we'd never done what I considered to be a real tour, not once in all those years and years of being in a band, because everyone's got something else they want to do. No one wants to spend their annual leave doing band stuff. They want to go on several holidays a year or do other stuff, or I can't do that weekend, it's my first cousin once removed's birthday, or it's some
my
baby's
goldfish died or something. I don't know.
Yeah. There's never any sacrifice. I think me and JJ, what we've got a lot in common is we know what it's like to run a band and to sacrifice things for that band. You know, everyone wants to be a rock star. Everyone wants the glory of it, but it does take a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice. there's
Yeah,
lots of weekends when we've had to say no to family, you know, to going out with friends, their birthdays and stuff because we've got band stuff
yeah,
on. It's what we've
yeah,
and you've got to have it. Everyone's got to have it on excuse me on the list of priorities because if you've got one or two people and where the band is really low down on their priorities, it's the lowest common denominator. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
It's entirely true, and that's why I am here. But it kind of worked out all right because I have a blast doing this, and I get to meet really cool people. I meet in that 21st century way that we kind of meet
Did you
people
think
now.
you'd be meeting a shark today? Because I don't think you did.
no,
Like,
I'm loving it. I'm loving
I
it. It's a good look.
I think I might wear
fantastic.
this on stage tomorrow. You know,
I
like
need to wear it permanently. It's, you know.
So, post-pandemic. So, have you found crowds, audiences? Are they coming back?
I think most of them are dead, aren't they?
I think
No,
there was
not.
this massive like decline basically of like ticket sales, people coming to gig. You know, you can't really beat around the bush and be like, oh no, people are still coming. But you know, it's harder for people now. Like since COVID, it's completely changed. Music scenes in a lot of areas have just completely, you know, a lot of venues went out of business, didn't they? And it's, you know, everywhere's just finding it really hard to stay open and get people coming in. Which kind of like brings up this whole debate of like, is why it's so important for people to buy advance tickets, you know, so venues can mark out like who is coming and, you know, you can figure out the logistics of all of that. I think, you know, when you're
at the
a...
same time though, the industry has got to meet people halfway. Whereas there's some promoters I work with where they use like ticket websites that refund you the booking fee and everything if they have to cancel, which is wonderful. But for a lot of the bigger artists, you know, if they cancel a show, you've lost a booking fee. That's the same price as a takeaway. You know, you've lost quite a lot. So people are thinking, well, fuck that. Why should I be throwing my money down the toilet? I'll wait to the last minute and then buy a ticket. So I get it. If it's a situation where you'll get a full 100% refund, then that's fair.
Because
if you
I'm
don't,
even
then I
guilty of
understand
it
why.
myself. Like if I'm gonna go and see someone and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I, you know, will be really bothered that night. So you'll almost buy your ticket like on the day of
Yeah.
to kind of be like, oh, that's it then, I'm going, it's confirmed. But if you book it, you know, unless it's like a major band,
Yeah.
you know, all the sort of smaller bands that are in the local area, you'll basically be like, oh well, if I can be bothered to go, I'll go on that day. But just that, even just a handful of people extra coming, it makes all the
It
difference,
does
doesn't
make
it?
a
Like,
massive
yeah,
difference. And then there's another thing as well to point out with all this as well, is to do with some people don't like going to gigs by themselves, and I get that. I mean, I'm a sad loser. I mean, like I went to see the Wild Hearts on Monday by myself up in Blackpool. You know, 4-hour round trip.
Yeah.
You know, why not? But I've always done this because, again, I guess it's a rural Shropshire thing, isn't it? Where you know, there'll be a lot of times when there's a gig on, and if you don't go by yourself, you don't go. Whereas like where we live, like me and JJ live in Stoke-on-Trent, and it's quite vibrant really here. And I think a lot of younger people will go see a band if their mates are going. It's a social thing. So if you've got like quite an obscure band coming to town, and someone finds that none of their mates know who they are, and they don't want to necessarily commit to buying a ticket, they might not go themselves because they don't want to be that awkward person standing in the corner of the room, you know, staring at their phone, trying to not be awkward all evening. And I totally get that.
I couldn't go to a gig by myself. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd definitely drag you, like, because I know you'd never say no, but I'd be like,
it's different for girls, isn't it? Because like, if I was a girl and I went to a gig by myself, I know there'd be so many like sleazy blokes pissing me off. It would just be horrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like you have to almost, you know, that kind of goes into a different territory of like, you know, just from a girl's perspective, that probably is why I would never go to a gig by myself. I just, you know, you wouldn't risk it really.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, what's always pissed me off is like within the arts, whether it's music or any art form really, but music in particular, it's the one place where I always imagined, in my younger, more wild-eyed, naive days, before everything came crashing down and reality picture in the face. That's the one place where everything is cool and everything is inclusive and
Yeah.
everything is embracing, because it's art, you know. It's so like whatever your political beliefs, whatever your class, color, creed, all of that goes out the window because we're just all Wild Arts fans, you know.
Mm.
We're just all punks. We're all here for the same reason. There's this
Uh,
human
Yeah.
tribal
that
thing
that
that
was
we're all in this
me as a
building,
teenager, you know.
and yet
Why
somehow
you go to
it still
Yeah.
gets
you go to
like
Donington every
clicky
year unless you
and
get yeah.
awkward, and
Yeah.
it should.
I think
There's
people
like,
are people though, aren't they?
sorry.
People can be annoying bastards regardless of what music they're
Yeah,
into. And
true.
again, when you go to a festival, not so much download's actually surprisingly good, but Reading and Leeds, I mean, the amount of people that get their tents robbed every year, you know, there's no tribe there, there's no
Yeah.
community, there's no respect. It's just
That's
a bunch
why
of
I
bunch of
like,
assholes taking opportunity to fuck a
yeah.
load of people over just because they like some of the same bands. It means nothing.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
that's why I love like our communities like so much, like the following for our band, because they just like, you can come to any one of our gigs, like no matter where we are across the country, like, and you're gonna have something in common with somebody, and everyone is there to just have a good time, to like rock out, not throw tomatoes on stage, like, everyone's just there to have a good time, and it's there's not been like an individual gig so far, and I know like it's different from being up on the stage and stuff like that, but when you go down into the fans and stuff, that I've ever felt unsafe. And I think that's what's so nice, because sometimes you go to gigs and you can feel things getting a bit hairy, there's tension in the atmosphere, and you're like, oh, I should probably get out of here. But at no point have I ever felt that at any one of our gigs. Like, you can come down and it's a safe space for you to just have fun, basically, and that's
Yeah.
what I enjoy about it so much.
We've got a good community, haven't we? Really.
Yeah, like everyone supports one another, like on both online and stuff like that. Like, fans will comment on each other's things and they'll become friends just over the fact that they like Lesbian Bet Deaf, and that is the coolest thing ever. Like, that's my favorite thing about all of it. So
That's great.
also,
That's
the fact we're a small
fantastic.
band is really good as well, because if we're a massive band, we wouldn't have the luxury that we do, where we can just go into the crowd and chat to anybody, and we always like make time to chat to anyone who wants a chat, to sign CDs. If one wants a photo with us, don't know why they want a photo of me, but if they want one, they're welcome to have one. But we make that time for people. I think you get that personal sort of experience that is missing from a lot of bigger gigs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's just shoot for the moon and fantasize a little bit. What's the what's like the holy grail? What would be the really fucking cool thing that you'd like to achieve? Maybe a particular venue you'd like to play, or something, some kind of milestone.
I want to be
Fantastical it
I want
might
to be
be.
so famous. I get one of those little black cards from Nando's, so I can have infinite food wherever I go on the planet. Just like
I think my milestone would be, I really kind of get this now. Sleep, yeah, just good sleep, decent sleep. A milestone I think is like if we played like just a min venue, not in particular, just like a really decent sized venue, and we sold out. We completely sold out, and we would have like people like singing our like words back to us. It's always so like adorable just to see people like, in the front row like singing the lyrics like to our songs, and it's like, oh my god, that's so cute, I'm gonna cry. Try not to sob into the microphone, but if we could sell out a venue and that to happen, that would be insane. That would be amazing.
I'm sure that won't be too far away.
Yeah.
So
We'll make it happen.
I think for me it's kind of that, but it'd be the ability to earn enough money from being in a band to not have to have a real job anymore.
Yeah.
And to be able to be big enough to play pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
So if you look at a lot of death metal bands, they're a really good example, because they're not massive anywhere. They'll sell out smaller clubs in the UK, but they can bring the same number of people in Indonesia, in America, in Brazil, wherever they go on this planet, they will bring a respectable amount of people in. So it means that all year round, those sorts of bands can always be playing any continent they want, apart from probably, you know, Antarctica or something. But you know, they can always be out there working, earning a living, meeting people across the world who, you know, whose lives are in some way
doing music full time, basically.
Yeah.
That would just earning enough to purchase penny a big.
Just reading the comments.
So I love like reading the comments and stuff like that.
So how do you guys feel about the arts? I guess maybe specifically music. You'll be more knowledgeable on the sort of the level of support that's available in this country. Not so much, you know, your friends and family, I guess, but like, you know, regards maybe like government loans, assets available, you know, in towns and cities, you know, like recording studios, rehearsal spaces, and how, you know, how easy, hard it is for people to just to try and do this thing.
It's impossible.
God, it's impossible. It's bloody hard. It's bloody difficult. It's, oh God, this, people don't realize how much goes into a band. Like, there's not just, you know, the time aspect of it, but then there's obviously the dedication aspect, which we've already sort of talked about, and then there's the financial aspect. That's probably the impossible one, the financial one. You know, because if people aren't showing up or buying your merch or investing in you, you know, you're screwed basically, because a band is a business, and if you don't have money coming into that business, the business won't run. And then likewise, if you don't, when you start making money from that business, if you don't reinvest it into that business, then, you know, the business can't keep going. So whereas it's easy to sort of just like, you know, book a rehearsal space and, you know, jam out and stuff like that with a group of people, but then just even getting people on the same page, like, oh, what time and what day and whatever do you want to rehearse, getting them down there, then organising a set, then organising with various venues, like, hey, I know you have never heard of us, blah, 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 but can we play at your venue? And they're like, we want £350. And it's like, I don't have that. I'm in college. Like, you know, so it's really difficult, which is why, you know, the support of the people that are into you is the main thing, really. Like, people who buy your merch, who come to your shows, who keep showing up time and time again, constantly listening to you and sharing you to their friends. They're the real supporters, because you know, you'll find really decent venues that are like, oh yeah, they'll treat the bands like amazing, but then you'll go other places and it's like they just don't want anything to do with you.
Exist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like, oh, you've kind of, you know, I know you're, you know, bringing our bar sales in, but you kind of, you're in our way. Like,
but also back to what you said about like government. You know, in our country, you know, the Tories pretty much slashed every last bit of money for the arts that they could find, pretty much. Whereas, you know, in these other countries, I mean, I'm probably going to get this a little bit wrong, but my understanding is that Canada and also Sweden, their governments for a long time have invested a lot into all forms of media, like music, and that they will financially help bands tour and take effectively that country's culture overseas.
Yeah.
And Sweden, that's why a lot of well, Sweden are massive on the metal scene and have been for at least 2-3 decades, and it's because they have had a little bit of a leg up from the government.
Yeah.
Whereas here, everything's a problem. Everything is an issue.
I feel like, because you have the cultural issue of, like, you know, what do you want to be? The kind of the ridiculousness, because it is ridiculous. You know, what do you want to be? A rock star? That sort of get a proper job attitude. The lack of because it seems so unattainable. You know, that you could even like you say, you don't necessarily need to be like #1 global superstar. Just, can I pay my bills? I think it's roof over my head, doing the thing I love, and I'll take it. You know.
I think it's one of these horrible, like, again, sort of Tory ideas of keeping the working class in their place. Don't you get ideas above your station? You know, who do you think you are? You know, oh, you want to be in a band, do you? Yeah, we'll get back to moving them boxes over there because that's what you're good at. Kind of vibe to keep you down there. So I want to be a rock star, do you? And the reality is that well, take away the word rock star. I want to be a professional musician, or I want to be an actor or something. It's like all of us watch Netflix, right? All of us listen to music. They're actual jobs. You know, if you work doing music, you're entertaining people. You're making people happy. When I move some fucking boxes around in a warehouse, that might be a little bit useful, but not really in the grand scheme of things. Not to the same degree. You know, that's something creative would be in that respect. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. So I think this country is very, very difficult, but at the same time, the UK's had some of the greatest artists in the world, but it's because we've all had to do it ourselves. And I think this is where you see a lot of infighting in the say the rock scene, metal scene, or whatever, because everyone wants that kind of feeling that their bands are authentic, as in they've worked their way up. You know, they've played small clubs, done demos, got a first deal, and it's been like an upwards trajectory. You know, when no one likes bands that seem to be put together by the industry, that are like, you know, miraculously appear one day and suddenly they're on the front of Kerrang magazine or whatever.
Yeah, because you're like, where did you come from?
It's like, it's very much you haven't earned that. You know, you've never like been outside in the pissing rain at 3 a.m, you know, carrying cabs into an Airbnb so the van doesn't get nicked or whatever. And, you know, you haven't had all that bullshit to deal with ever. And there you are playing fucking Wembley. There's one of these bands, I'm not going to name any names, they really get on my tits, although they are quite good. This girl in the band was moaning, oh, I've done 6 festivals this year, I've worked so hard, you know, I need a break for a couple of weeks, you know, our Diddums, you know, you've done Leeds, Reading, Download, Bloodstock, all these fucking things, the kind of things that when I was a kid, you dreamed, that was your pinnacle. If you say Donington Festival, it's like, wow, I've made it, it doesn't get any bigger or better than this. And this girl done like 6 of those and was like, oh, they didn't even have their first album out. And this is what gets me is like, you know, you haven't really paid your dues, you know, and unless you've been in some shit club like me and JJ have, playing in front of 6 people, who just waited. The only reason they're there is because they're another band who's let us use their cabs, just so they can't piss off it. You know what I mean? You have to have that. You have to fight for it. You have to be beaten down. You have to have had like band members who've let you down massively at the last minute. You've had to have like financial pressures. You had to have these things to kind of make you really truly appreciate what you've got and how far you've traveled. And you know, and that's what keeps me kind of grounded. You know, I mean, I know the impression a lot of people probably have of me is like fucking Dave Mustaine or Danzig or something. Like, look at all these people he's clearly kicked out, he must be the problem, that kind of shit. But they don't see the other side of it. They don't see the work. They don't see the holidays I never had when I was younger, because I spent all my money in recording studios when everyone else spent theirs going away with their friends. You know, I've never smoked. I rarely drink. I've never done drugs or anything like that. You know, my money went on CDs and stuff to do with the band.
That's it. Like, you know, you pay your bills and then whatever's left, that's it. You slap towards the music basically, and it's
you get it, Jade. You've done it.
I've done it. And it cripples you on the inside, because it's like,
it does. And then when you work really hard, what people don't get, if you get a gig, you've probably gone for like 30 gigs and you've got one, and then some, I don't know if I can do that weekend, do you reckon it's going to be any good? No, I don't know. I'm Mystic fucking Meg. I'll get my bloody crystal ball out and have a look, see what the future holds, shall I? You know, and a lot of the time, a show is what you make of it. It's the promotion leading up to it. It's the hype. It's the being seen by other people that you're active and doing stuff. People who might not even be in the locality. So it keeps you active, and it keeps that perception of you being active. And if only 5 people turn up, make sure they have the best show that they've seen.
If
keep smiling
at the
your
end
face,
of the day,
enjoy it.
If they have a good time, then, you know, if even if, you know, it'd be really sad, but like, even if just one person came to a show and that person comes up to you afterwards and is like, I've had like this was amazing, like this is the best show I've ever been to, or you guys are amazing, like what, they could say anything, and that's it. Show made. That is what it's all about.
That's
one
more album sold. That's one more album sold. That's
one
more
exactly sold. You know,
that's one more person that's coming to the next show, more than likely.
Absolutely.
And maybe that person brings a friend.
Exactly.
It's a story. Everyone likes the story of like, I met that band once, and there were 3 people there, and they were really nice to me, and they signed my stuff, and you know, someone shared their chips with me or something. You know what I mean? Everyone likes those sorts of I was going to say intimate rock and roll stories, but no,
Come to our shows, we have chicken nuggets or something.
You know what I mean? That kind of like,
Mm.
you know, a nice experience. I mean, I've had this. So when I was a kid, I remember seeing Bang Tango in Dudley in front of 6 people, and we all ended up playing pool with them at the end of the show. You know, that was cool. I remember eating pizza with the old bass player from Machine Head as well, and I think I was about a teenager, early 20s or something. It was really cool. There's lots of stories that I've got, and it's nice that people have got these stories about us as well, you know. I remember Lesbian Bed Death. I remember, you know, just chatting with them outside the venue or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it goes a long way. I think just being nice to people and listening to them and, you know, and just being cool, I think it adds a lot of value
Like,
to
how
the band as
horrible would
well.
it be as if, like, you know, I don't know, if you go to watch someone and then you'd be like, oh, like, hey, you guys are amazing, like, can you sign this or can we take a picture together? And they're like, ew. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That'd be horrible.
I'm sure it happens.
I've had it when I was young, and when I was a teenager. I'd see every band, as I mentioned before, every band that came through Wolverhampton, the Civic and Wolfen Halls. I went to see pretty much everybody, and I always used to wait backstage, get them to sign my ticket, have a photo with them and stuff. And I've got all these pictures of spotty little me hanging out with like Slash and all these other rock stars and stuff. But you know, you remember the people who are really, really cool, and you remember the people who are massive assholes as well. And often my memory is the people who were really vile and wouldn't sign anything, or it was too much trouble. There was only ever maximum 10 kids there. It's not like there was crowds that they were like, no, they've got to go somewhere to the hotel room.
Yeah.
They could have like spent 5 minutes, very easily 5 minutes, signed some stuff, whatever. But it was too much trouble. And you see later on when you see these bands split up and fight in the magazines and stuff, and you've had that little bit of insider knowledge of the personalities and the people in the bands, it tells you a lot. You know, it really does. You know, you sometimes think, oh, that's a surprise. You know, I remember that person. He's a massive prick. You no wonder the band's kicked him out. You know, that kind of thing. And you know, again, it's another one of those little tales. You become part of the rock and metal community, and I think we've got a lot of that as well. You know, people talking. Maybe they're talking shit about us. I don't know. Maybe they say nice things about us.
I hope not. I hope it's all good stuff. You know,
So
we try and be nice.
How do you guys personally? How do you personally balance the? As you said, it's ultimately, whether we like it or not, it's a business. It's the music business. It's show business. The business word's in there for a reason, but balancing that necessary evil somewhat, and obviously the artistic side, the performance and the creativity, and you know, trying to not have one, you know, shit on the other too much. How do you keep that balance? How do you get that to sit?
So more so as in like writing and performance aspects, or
Well, like you know that like the money's important and you've got to put the work in, but really there's got to be
you've got to be realistic about it.
You never want to write songs and perform and entertain people.
We've never really
what you want to do.
I've come under fire a lot for this. I'm glad you've asked this, because I've come under fire a lot for this. You know, and people. Firstly, the first thing from day one, I've had so many people say, "You'll never get anywhere with a name like that. If you're a serious musician wanting your band to be signed, you'll never get signed with a band called Lesbian Bed Death." Loads of that. You still hear a bit of that today, but it was massively, you know, back in the day, all the time. That was, and me being me, I'm just like, fuck off. I want to do things on my terms.
People will either love it or they hate it, don't they? Yeah.
The way I see it is, if you effectively sell out, you start making music that you're not proud of because you're chasing a record deal or something like that, and you change name and the image of your band to something that's not really you're not happy with it, or to chase that carrot effectively. What happens if you don't make it? Then you spent all this money and a good chunk of your life doing something that's shit, that you're embarrassed about, that you look back on and be like, yeah, what was I thinking? Whereas I'd much rather we look back and think, okay, we didn't get signed to Sony or anything, but we made some really cool albums, made some wicked music videos. Yeah, okay, so no one's ever going to broadcast those music videos because of all their rules. You know, fuck their rules. I don't want to compromise what we're doing. I think the reason people do like us is because we don't make those compromises. You know, we do have like
we just
mini
do
horror
what we
films and
want
our
to do.
yeah, exactly. You know, you've got to think why do people like us in the first place? And
Mm.
you know, I'm not gonna write a load of dross
Yeah.
just to chase a record deal. You know, why?
And
I just
I think like it can also get like sometimes like we said, like we've both been on the way of, you know, like I'm putting all my time and my effort and my money into it, and it sort of sometimes it feels like it's just going absolutely nowhere, and it can be really disheartening, you know, when you put all this time and effort in and only like 3 people show up to a gig, and you're there like, oh, what's the point of it all? But like genuinely, if you talk to the people that come, and you know, if they've had a good time and they remember you, and that's it, like in that moment in time they will always remember you for putting on an amazing show. Like they will remember you for your music, for being nice, for just doing a good job basically, and they'll remember you. And you know, in 10, 20, 30, God knows how many years, like when we're all not here anymore, if some 40-year-old is like, oh, like I remember the time when I was like 18 and I went to see Lesbian Bed Death for the first time, like that was my first show. Like we've had people come and have their very first gig with us, and if they still remember that in a couple of decades time and they're like, oh, I love Lesbian Bed Death, like that was my first gig, then that beats all the financial hardship, you know, all the mental torture, all the exhaustion. That beats everything. That, to me, that trumps everything. Because if, you know, by the time we're all gone, if one person remembers us, then that one person carries us forever, and that beats everything basically in my eyes.
I totally agree with that, and I think for me, because I've been doing this such a long time, I've had those
Mm.
questions. You know, why are you still doing this? Why are you putting yourself through this?
Yeah.
This band seems to give you so much stress and misery all the time. Why do you bother? And trying to explain to people the payoff of a good gig, the payoff
Mm.
of you know, finishing a record that, you know, you have people emailing you telling you how much they enjoyed it and how much it means to you. It kind of, it outweighs it, you know, and we put ourselves through absolute hell on earth to make a thing, you know, and
I think it's worth it. I always
yeah,
tell
definitely.
people like you know, you spend a lot of time. I don't. This is how I felt for a very long time, and I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I spent most of my life just trying to be like what everyone else kind of wanted me to be. You know, before I really started getting into the music stuff and whatever, I was just trying to be whatever my parents wanted me to be, or you know, whatever school or you know my job wanted me to be. You kind of like you fit into these molds that people put you in, and it just makes you so depressed basically. There's no other way around it. Like you just get so sick of the life that you kind of live. And so being in a band and creating music and making videos and going on tour and meeting people, it breaks out of this mold of what people want you to be. You know, no one, you know, no parent ever wants to hear their child say, I want to be a musician. So when you say that, it's almost like you're being like, you know, screw you, I'm going to be everything that I want to be. And I think people owe it to themselves to become who they want to become. You know, there's nothing saying that you have to fit into all of these molds, these, you know, picket fence, cookie cutter kind of people that society wants you to be. You know, realistically it doesn't matter, does it? You know, and you know we're on a tiny floating rock in space,
I feel like
so just be who you
more
want to
myself.
be.
You know, when you're in a band, you feel like you're being you more. When you otherwise
Yeah,
you've got another head on, you got your office mask on, or
yeah,
you've got
Yeah.
whatever it is. You're not able to kind of express yourself and be yourself. And I think when you're in a band and you get away from all that, and you know, you've also got a mission as well, haven't you? You know, it gives you a sense of purpose.
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? It gives you a sense of purpose. It's like, well, I've got
I
something to do.
personally feel like I've really like found myself in the past year just being in this band. And I know it's only been a year, but I feel like we've already, you know, done so much. You know, we went on tour, we got signed, we did an album, you know, and now we're getting ready to go back on tour again. It's just this past year has literally been the best year of my entire life, and I owe pretty much all of it to this band for taking me on. You know, like we've all become such amazing friends. Like Dan is like probably the bestest friend I've ever had in my life, and because we're so similar, and we've getting all gay and emotional now. But just getting close with these guys, and you know, going out on the road. You know, when you're on tour with people, you know, you smell each other's farts. You know, like you'll never get closer to anybody else in your life. So you make memories basically, and I think you do start to become like the best version of yourself, you know, because you're just meeting new people, you're traveling, you're seeing places that you otherwise wouldn't have gone to, and making memories with your best friends, and that, you know, that's who you are, you know, that happiness, that pure joy, that's what it's all about.
So you're making memories, you're making friends, you're
Yeah.
making music, you're also making a movie. What
the
fuck? We are making a movie.
So I'm getting good at this.
That's a good link. I'm impressed.
So yeah, it's fucking seamless. One day I'll get paid for this.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, because I apparently I fucking swear too much to get paid. So
yeah, maybe.
That's that gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck them. I really don't care. It's too much fun. Anyway, so yeah, so we're making a movie.
Yeah.
This is not a tour film, is it? This is not a documentary on the band.
No.
This is a horror anthology.
It's a horror anthology. Yeah. So I mean, the reason it's an anthology is because when you're doing everything on a shoestring budget, and you've got actors who aren't, you know, they're not paid professionals. More often than not, they're your mates, and there's limited amounts of time when you can get everyone in the same place. So all the anthologies were written so that we could record we could film one of them in a weekend, and that's it. Everyone could go then find a different bunch of people for the next one, rather than have to try and get all these people in the same place week after week after week. And it's just nice, I think, just have like shorter, tight stories that aren't boring and don't drag. So
I love short stories.
I do too.
Yeah,
I used to love the Twilight Zone when I was a kid, and just stuff like that. Obviously, you know,
without any I guess spoilers, but are you going to make these? You're going to do the thing that these stories going to connect in any way, or are they just going to be individual?
Yes and no. All the stories don't connect, but there is a wraparound story around the lot.
Right.
So some of the characters in the wraparound story are in a position where they're telling stories, like a campfire kind of thing. So the stories that they tell,
you're just gonna have to find out. Like, no, I have to like come down and watch it once it's done.
I mean, we're putting a lot of music in it, and we're writing new music for it. We're going to do a full soundtrack, and there's a few fake bands in there as well that we're going to make music for, bands that don't really exist.
Please tell him about that. Or is that spoilers? Is that really mean?
Which one? Oh god!
God!
One of the bands. I wanted like a really dreadful, whiny punk pop band, because it's something I'm not into at all. Like a really annoying, you know, a bunch of lads who, you know, talk in American accents even though they're not from America, sort of thing. You know, wacky, crazy, Newfound Glory meets Blink-182 kind of thing. And I'm trying to think of a name for this band, and I was talking to partner Evelyn, and we were saying how nice JJ is. Now, like, God, how does anyone upset JJ? And she's got a little dog, an old little dog called Susie, and and I said, "What have you got to do to upset JJ? Drop kick Susie." And her partner was like, "That's a wicked name for a band." So I thought, that's it. That's the band.
So the band is
the punk pop band in this film. They're going to be called Dropkick Susie. So that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Dropkicking JJ's album.
You know what? We're gonna make like t-shirts and stuff, aren't we? And I was like, I want a Dropkick Susie t-shirt. And I remember when I came home, I'm gonna get a tattoo, Dropkick Susie. You know. you know, body as a canvas and whatnot.
Yeah,
But when they told me, like when Dad told me about that, I was like, "What's the back one? Who's that dropkick Susie?" I just burst out laughing. It's so funny because, like, probably that's the only thing anyone could ever do to me that would upset me.
pretty much. Pretty much.
So she's so old. How could you think of doing that to her?
Yeah. You watch you drop dead on the day of the shoot, and everyone will feel really, really guilty. But
Yeah.
we'll film anyway, JJ. The show must go on.
It's terrible.
We're going to sacrifice it to make sure the film's successful.
Yeah.
Instead of like crops next year, we're going to make sure if a good run at the film festivals next year, we're going to sacrifice your little dog. So,
I'll sacrifice you. You come anywhere near you're never coming in my house again, ever. You're staying away from Susie.
So you guys are actually acting in this thing, right?
JJ's, JJ's one of the lead.
I was going to show the costume, but I feel like that's spoilers, isn't it? Because it's like right behind me.
It's on the Instagram.
It's on the Instagram,
yeah. So basically, we filmed one of the shorts, and there's probably going to be 6 in total, and a kind of a 7th, because I want to film a trailer for a movie that doesn't exist. It's something that one of the characters is watching on TV. I just thought it'd be kind of funny. So you can argue it's 7. I don't know. So we're raising cash. So anyone out there watching, please give us all your money. We've got an Indiegogo campaign. I can't remember the address. But it's in.
Susie wants your credit card information.
It does, yeah. We'll spend all the money on vet bills for Susie. It's
That's shocking.
So if you go to satanseller.com, the link is on that page somewhere for Indiegogo campaign. We're flogging the usual Blu-rays, posters, T-shirts, soundtrack CDs, flamethrowers, the usual stuff.
I was going to ask.
Sorry?
No, I was going to ask. So when it's when we're ready, what is your like release distribution ideas? Just gonna be like DVD through your website, or?
It's a good question. I don't really know yet what we're going to do. I'm reluctant to do too much until it's finished. You know, there's nothing that annoys me more than when you get these like amateur filmmakers who go on about their movie all the time, and then when you talk to them, you realise they haven't actually filmed anything, and then 99% of the time they won't film anything. It's all just something to big themselves up about in a pub. And I never wanted to be one of those people. I wanted to be able to go, yeah, I'm filming a movie. Here's the first piece you can look at. Here's some graded stills from the movie. Yeah. It's real. It's happening. We're doing this. And so when we've got the film, so when I'm in like the post-production stages and I'm editing and sorting out the sound and all that kind of thing, that's when I'll start thinking about what to do with it. I mean, I'm probably going to enter it to some film festivals around the UK and maybe abroad, see what happens, and put the feelers out there. You know, if Netflix get on the phone, then they can have it, but they probably won't.
I don't know.
If
they're not that picky.
If the worst came to the worst and absolutely no one wanted the film, then yeah, we would just sell it through the website. We'll do something where we put it on Amazon or YouTube where you could rent it or something. Like a DIY kind of thing. But I'm hoping that we're going to get some kind of distribution, because
some kind of physical media.
Yeah, there'll definitely be Blu-rays. We're definitely doing Blu-rays because that's on the Indiegogo campaign. So I've committed to making those regardless. So there will be Blu-rays. I don't know when people will be able to watch it. Like I said, I'm more focused on actually filming first,
like making the movie.
Yeah. So when we film the last bit and I don't need other people anymore, you know, all my actors are done, all the voiceovers are finished, all the overdubbing, it's all finished, then we can start working out how long it's going to be until I actually get the whole thing edited, tidy, neat, ready to send off to people. And then we'll take it slow, do it properly, and we'll definitely have like a premiere. It won't be in like Hollywood or London or anything. It's probably going to be in Stoke-on-Trent. There's a theatre we can rent out here.
I'll come in
few
my uniform for the show.
Yeah, we'll get a red carpet out. We go down Abercorn Fabrics for £10 and see if we can get some, some kind of something that looks red, some material stick on the floor.
Yeah.
And,
I think the inside of this is red. It's like,
we'll turn your onesie inside out and use that as a red carpet.
Yeah.
And we'll get a green screen and put some like celebrities behind it and things.
Yeah.
Project them on.
Yeah, and if there's anything remotely resembling a red carpet, I'm pretty sure you'll have at least 2 Kardashians there, whether you invited them or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, probably.
That's all right, but you know what?
Charge them double.
Yeah, charge them double.
Yeah. I'll see
Charge
if
them
they
like
lend me one of their Slayer t-shirts.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not Courtney. What's the? Yeah, Courtney Kardashian and like a lesbian bed deaf t-shirt. You know, get them wrapping the merch would be everywhere.
God, you know one of their names.
It's gonna happen.
I know Kanye West is, but I don't know the other ones.
I know Courtney, Chloe, Kim, Courtney, Kim, Chloe, Kendall.
okay.
What is the main one? I'm so confused.
Cunt face Kardashian.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know. They're just fucking. They're not even real people, are they? They're just weird TV things that they've grown in a fucking petri dish.
Yeah.
Just to sell to.
Do you have any more questions that you'd like me to answer? Because I may have to dip in a second. I do apologise.
Okay. Well,
You're being put back into the ocean, are you, JJ?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm pretty sure my curry's on fire in the oven, so.
Okay, so.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I've eaten already, so I can stay as long as, and I can talk about the movie a bit if you want to, jump back into the ocean. And
I was just wondering if there was anything else you wanted to ask before I go, basically.
We can do this fairly quickly then.
Yeah.
We've done the band, we've done the music, so let's get a little bit more personal in you two. I say personal, it's just shits and giggles, and play a quick little bit I like to do of this or that.
Yeah.
For example, cats or dogs? Go.
Dogs.
Excellent. Beer or wine?
Wine,
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Pizza or kebab?
pizza. We're the same person. We're going to have the same answer.
Country retreat or city living?
City living.
Country retreat.
You think that now, but you've been in the country a bit for a while. You're like, I'm bored up my fucking tits.
I just love nothing.
Now, would you rather go skydiving or scuba diving?
Skydiving. I'm
terrified of heights, and I've got asthma. My lungs would explode if I went scuba diving. So I think I have to be skydiving just because that's the one that won't kill me. But
oh yeah. Do you consider yourself a leader or a follower?
A leader. I'm too noisy not to be.
Yeah, never do what you're fucking told, do you?
No, I do. I'm the one giving instructions, not the other way.
Usually, yeah. I'm a follower if JJ tells me what to do, but anyone else can sling the work, basically.
Big parties or small gatherings?
Small gatherings.
Excellent. Would you rather have money or free time?
Money.
Yeah, I always say, hopefully, money buys you the free time.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you have enough of it and you pay people to do the shit you don't want to do.
So yeah, anyone that says money can't buy happiness is a bullshitter,
It's David Lee Roth who said, whoever says money can't buy you happiness doesn't know where to go shopping.
Yeah.
Would you rather see a puppet show or a magic show?
Magic show.
Magic show, I think. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Polka dots or stripes?
Stripes.
The same person.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do the last few of the controversial ones, and I'll let you shoot off if you need to. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
A vampire. A shark. Is that an option?
Vampire shark.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
Vampire Sharknadoes, no doubt.
Yeah,
Next week.
there's a Netflix movie in there somewhere.
Vampire Shark.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be. Wait for Jennifer Lopez next
Yeah.
thing. Telling you. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Ooh. It's got to be Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always said there's no wrong answers, but that one is the right answer.
Yeah, true. I don't know, I used to be a fan of Star Trek, but Star Wars.
I do love Star Trek, and I think if I'm being honest, Star Trek never really drops the ball. One does a little bit now and again, but it's consistently solid. Where Star Wars has put out some turkeys, but we love Star Wars because the first three are just so infinitely good. You know what I mean?
Like the original trilogy.
Yeah. I just watched The Acolyte before doing this.
Okay.
I
haven't seen that yet.
Because I am bound by the rules of me to keep watching regardless of turkeyness. But so far so good. 2 episodes. I'll not say too much yet, but I'll be watching the rest anyway. So, Dragon Ball or Pokemon?
Dragon Ball!
It's going to be Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Do you know, I think you might be the first Dragon Ballers that have asked this. So
wow. Everyone basic though. Everyone just
surprised me as well.
Yeah.
So okay, have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
I have, I think, but I don't believe it was aliens on board it because I don't think that they'd waste their time coming here. I saw some, I couldn't describe in Warwickshire, like a little dot that was flying around super fast.
It was me on the drone, just like following me around.
You know, if I was the result of cousins marrying or something, or a redneck or whatever, I might think, oh, there's aliens up in them sky, but I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unidentified flying object. At no point in that acronym is the alien life.
Alien, yeah.
But if you see something,
UFO BM though, it's unidentified flying object by me. I don't know what it is. Someone's going to know what it is, you know, but not me. I mean, it could be like some fucking pigeon or something. I don't know what it is.
I know. I said the other day, I mean, I know it's a bird. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a bird.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of bird it is. It's just a black silhouette somewhere like half a mile above.
No, I've definitely not seen a UFO. I can't even see the sky.
Identifiable flying object.
Semi-identifiable.
Yeah, because I know it's a bird, but I don't know what kind, so I can't really identify it as such.
I'm going to use that one, semi-identified flying object.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes.
This is one thing me and JJ are very different on here.
Yeah, this is where we are different.
I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I think it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. See, I love it. I love it. And yeah, I've had some interesting things.
Story time with JJ, and she wanted to go, but she's only self to blame for this.
You know what, Mike? I like bird curry. It's all right, you know.
Ghost
what's
story.
it? Oh God, I've got like a couple. But there's only ever been like one thing that has happened to me my whole life because I love science. Like I'm a nerd, so I will explain it away. However, there's one thing that I just can't come up with a reason as to why it happened. So I'm like, what the hell? And it was basically, I was like 10, 11, you know, wasn't too young, but obviously I wasn't that old either. And we just installed like a motion sensor light in my back garden. Now the layout in my back garden at the time was like, it's like a rectangle, it's quite long. And at the bottom was just a shed and then like a table and chairs and some gravel. And it was about 10 o'clock at night and I'd just come up to bed and I had this thing where I would never close my curtains. You know, as a preteen, my curtains were always open, and as a teenager, my curtains were always closed. That's just the way the cookie crumbled. And so I come upstairs and my curtains are wide open, and I'm brushing my teeth, whatever, when the motion sensor light comes on. So just being tired, curious, bored, brushing my teeth, I walk up to my window and I'm like, what's out there? And I didn't see anything. And then the light went off, so obviously whatever was out there is gone.
Probably a
I walk away. Yeah, it's a bit. top of my garden. But then what happened was, I like turned around and the light came back on, and I'm like, oh right, okay. So I turn back around and I go back up to the window, and this time I stay there for like a bit longer because I'm like, what is out there? Is it like a cat? 10-year-old me is excited to see some pussy. I don't know. No, I put it like that, but sure. So I'm standing there, and from the right hand side, like right by the shed door, appears this like white like mist, just probably about that long, like the size of a torso, I'd probably guess, like on average. Just this like cloud of mist, and it just almost like manifests by the door, like, and I see this happen, and then it kind of like do like takes like a step, but it doesn't have any legs or anything, and then it just kind of like stops, as in it's kind of like recognized that I've seen it, and then it just flies across the garden and then just disappears and then just goes. And I was there like, what like what was that? And Dan's like, shut up, like, were you high? I was 10.
Ghost, what's the point of what you just did?
It was just really weird. It was just one of those things that, like, even to this day, even how I felt back then, like watching it happen, just like I felt really weird, and whatever. And I started going on these ghost hunts with my friend Claire, and nothing luckily has happened to thingy. Just like one thing with an EMF detector. They also put me in a. Have you ever heard of Newsham? Like Newsham Asylum.
Well,
It's like Newsham Park Asylum or whatever. It was like it used to be a hospital, then it was an asylum for a bit. Obviously now it's closed down. We went there for a ghost hunt at the start of the year, and in one of the corridors was this like an old style metal gurney as well. And they were like, oh, who wants to get in it? And I was like, I'll get it. Because I have like no fear. Like, I'm just, that's it. I have really weird fears, but not normal fears. So like in closed spaces, I love. So that's it. I'll get in. I don't care. So I'm in this metal gurney, and I'm like, oh, there's no ghost here, blah blah blah. Because I'm still on the fence. Like, I believe that weird things can happen. There's things we can't explain, but whether there are ghosts or not, it's up for debate, isn't it? None of us will ever really know. I just like researching and watching all the videos and stuff. I find it fascinating. So anyway, I'm in this gurney, and I'm like, blah, 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 I'm not terrified. Like, do your worst to me, scratch me, punch me, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, taunting the spirit that apparently dwells in this corridor. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I kind of hear like clinking on the top of the thing, and I'm like, oh, everyone's just messing with me, like, whatever. And they're like, is that you? And I'm like, no. And then they have a video of this metal gurney like shaking, which I couldn't feel. I didn't feel like anything was happening inside. This metal gurney was like shaking, and then actually it starts to turn in this corridor, and they are so far away from this gurney, it's unreal. They're like, what is happening? So there's a video out there of me being spun around in a metal gurney. And then I'm like, oh, like, nothing's happening, you're all messing with me, blah, blah, blah. So I keep taunting the spirit until I kid you not, and it could have just been my clothing, it could have an explanation, but it freaked me out to the point where I was like, get me out of here. Was on my lower back here, is I kind of felt like burning all of a sudden. Almost like, and I just thought my clothing had like shifted, but because of where I was, it freaked me out. So I was like, oh my god, please get me out. Like, I feel like something's just touched me. Like, maybe it's a spider. I feel like my brain was like, this is a spider, like, get me out of this box. So they get me out, and then as we're leaving this corridor, my back is just on fire. So I'm like, oh, Jan, like another friend that we went with, can you check my back? So she lifts up my shirt, exposes me to all the ghosts. Lifts up my shirt and puts a flashlight on, and it's that like there's like 3 marks like down my back, like on my lower back, and I'm like,
is it 666?
maybe
6, JJ?
yeah, just 666 carved into my back. So, but other than those 2 times, like nothing is.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, that might be enough for me.
So
I'd just let go.
you're in some haunted asylum somewhere near Liverpool, and you start taunting all the Scouse ghosts.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, whatever, come get me. Like,
because I was like, whatever, you can't do
sort you
anything
out,
to me.
dickhead. You know what I mean? They start like prodding your back and spinning you around and shit.
But I find it so fascinating. Like, so whether I believe in ghosts or not is, it's up for debate. I've got my own theories to kind of what ghosts are and how all this evidence has come to light and blah blah blah. But that's just, I could get into it and you would never leave. Like, my curry would be on fire. So I'm gonna leave you with my stories.
But what we could do, is you could make a pact right now.
Yeah.
If you go first, you'll come back and haunt him and prove yourself right.
Oh, yeah, and the thing is, I will go before you. Yeah. I 100% will. I've said this already. I was like, I know that I'm going to die before him. So, like, that's it. I'm coming back to haunt you. And there's no doubt about it.
Do some pointless shit, just...
I would do really annoying stuff. Like, I would, like, all your CDs and everything, like, in the background, I would change them all around. So, like, the one that you want is...
I literally would kill myself just so I could fucking come after you if you did that.
Yeah, and then you join me as a ghost.
They're all in alphabetical and chronological order. Someone take the discs out and put in the wrong boxes and stuff is like my worst nightmare.
Whenever you turn the TV on, I'd go up to the TV and turn it off. I'd unplug your phone in the middle of the night. I would leave Lego for you to stand on. Like, I would do the most irritating stuff.
See, like J and J burnt into my back in the morning.
I would just be like, JJ. So yeah, those are my.
If you get the opportunity.
Honestly, I promise you, if I die before you, I'm coming back for you. Like, I will haunt your ass in the stupidest way. Like, and I won't do all this, like, spooky, like, woo, it'd be, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, it's Britney, bitch, like,
proper saucepan to the face shit, like in Poltergeist or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go hard or don't bother. So.
That's exactly what I do.
But I can see the hard-working businessman, musician brain ticking away already, thinking, there's ticket sales in this. I mean, people pay to see, like, holograms of Elvis and Johnny Cash and dead people. So if we could keep the band going and she can just come back in spirit. Like, even if people can't see
I would do that. I would do
with the right frequency modulation or something, they could actually still hear you from the other side.
Yeah. Get me like a spirit box on stage and I'll be like, I've come to kill you all. That'd be amazing. That's an idea. There you go. So, Beetle JJ. Yeah, if you say my name 3 times, I come back to life.
Okay.
And just to reply to whoever down there wrote about which is the best Linkin Park album, it's got to be Hybrid Theory, isn't it?
It's got to be Hybrid Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The others have all got like 2 or 3 decent songs on, and then the rest can go in the bin for me.
That's the only one that I can sit and listen like to without any skips. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care enough about Linkin Park after the first album, really. Yeah.
No, I remember someone giving me like a pirate copy of it.
Yeah.
Like it had just launched. I didn't know anything, but the guy was like, and he was like a full-on like old school metalhead. He was, Maiden and Slayer, all of that predominantly. Big fan of Halloween and shit like that. But he gave me this, so I was not expecting to hear that when I got it home because of the guy it came from. But he was like, "You're gonna love this." He's like, "These guys are gonna be fucking huge." It was like, because they're like, it's like metal enough for metalheads, but it's like pop enough for like pop punkers, but then it's got rap and but they look like NSYNC, but like they're gonna be fucking huge, trust me. And I was just like, yeah, all right, whatever. He was not wrong.
No.
He was not wrong. But yeah, I remember that very fondly. So let's do a few a few other sort of potentially quick ones.
Yeah.
What was the last film you watched that you'd recommend? So it might
I
not be new.
literally
Doesn't have to be a new film.
just watched Captain Phillips like downstairs. Oh hey Cass. I love that movie. I actually think it's a pretty decent movie. So Captain Phillips. But that's just random, just because I'd literally finished watching it when it was like, it's time to do this. So
I watched, finally got around to watching Godzilla -1 last night, and that's awesome. It's my favourite Godzilla film so far.
You can believe the hype.
Yeah,
believe the hype, kids. It's nice when that happens because it's a rare thing. It really is every bit as good as everybody says it is.
Is this a new one? Or
yeah.
Oh, I've not seen it.
There's two new ones, JJ. There's one of the awful American ones. It's all CGI crap and Americanized, and then there's the Japanese one, which came out. I think in February.
Well, next movie night, it's watching.
It's on Netflix now.
It's
on Netflix. It came out on the 1st of June. Godzilla -1, JJ. Watch it. It'd be good.
Yeah,
Will do.
I don't know. Have they dubbed it for Netflix or is it still?
No, it's subtitled.
Good.
I'm alright with that, and I can't watch anything without the subtitles. Like, I need them in real life. I'm just like, what was that? You know?
Yeah, that'd be great. So, what was the last album you listened to that you'd recommend besides your own?
Besides that, Midnight Lust by Lesbian Bed Death. What was the? I think I was listening to Alice in Chains.
Nice.
So that's what I was listening to. Like, yeah.
I bought two CDs last week. I got the new Kerry King album, which is really good. It's not going to change the world or anything. It's basically just Slayer, but hits the spot, doesn't it? And I got the new Sebastian Bach album, which is really good. So I used to love Skid Row when I was a teenager.
I'm so glad this is twice now. You mentioned Skid Row earlier. You mentioned Seb now because for some reason it's Guns N' Roses, the Poison, Motley Crue, and for some reason for me Skid Row, at least like in my circle of reference, they seem to keep getting overlooked all the time. They don't turn up on the documentaries and shit like that when you do the Sunset Strip. And
I'll tell you why. I can tell you why. This is probably showing my age a little bit. But the first Skid Row album came out in 1989, and that was pretty much as that whole scene was winding down. Yeah. And by the time Slave to the Grind came out, the second album, which is amazing. Grunge was coming in, just about to. Metal was getting heavier, and for me, that album bridges what was happening in the 80s with what was about to come with like Machine Head and Pantera, because it's a lot heavier and more aggressive. It's way heavier and more aggressive than anything like Poison and Motley Crue ever did. It's a really badass album. So it fits sonically between the two, and I don't think Skid Row ever fitted really in that whole what they call hair metal and stuff like that. The first album,
not really, no.
It's a great band, and then obviously they imploded because Sebastian Bach is not the easiest person in the world to work with.
Apparently not. No.
I met him and he was really, really cool to me.
Yeah.
1995, I think I met him as a kid at Subhuman Race Tour, and he was really, really cool. But yeah, I can see how he could be a pain in the ass.
So but that does bring me a question that I often ask is, what's the either who's the biggest celebrity you've met, even if you've not quite like met them like sat and had dinner with them, but at least like I don't know, seen them in an airport or something and gone hey, or who has been the best, the nicest?
I've met Kate Middleton twice.
Oh.
Just throw that out there.
Royalty.
Yeah,
you pickpocketed JJ.
She's so nice. She's really, really nice.
I'd be fucking nice if I had that much money as well.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
True.
Did you have a Slayer t-shirt on?
She did not. She had this like really nice blue matching outfit, and I was like, oh my god, like I met her when I was a child, and then met her again when I was like a teenager, I think. So I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 13, 14 the second time. she was just really
Are
nice.
we just destroying all of your kind of punk rock street level credibility now that we're saying you schmooze in circles where you meet Kate Middleton twice?
She so listens to Blood Command.
Yeah,
I don't care what
she's always-
anybody says.
I don't think she knows where Stoke-on-Trent is.
No,
You know,
well, she's been here, so she definitely does.
Yeah,
So
like-
against her will, you know, they had like a gun to her head, like you have to go visit the Cretans down in Stoke.
yeah. I've never met Kate Middleton. Thank fuck for that. I think so. I've met is probably Slash.
Yeah, he's met cooler people than I have. Like that's probably the only
Okay.
famous person.
Kate Middleton's pretty fucking low bar, isn't it?
You know,
That's like being like, oh, I met
We
Nigel
find that
Farage.
cool.
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's basically me saying I don't know, met the milkman or something.
Oh, depends who your milkman is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
true. I've met that Dan Pete from Lesbian Bed Death. He's
Yeah, he's got through so many bandmates. You know what I mean? He's just like a fascist or something.
Yeah,
It's like-
clearly
it's
he
like-
has no people
it's like-
skills.
It's like Danzig. He's like he's the Dave Mustaine of Stoke-on-Trent.
He is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Baden.
You know,
I will leave you with my Kate Middleton, unless there's anything else you want to ask me before I depart.
Go have your
by all
curry,
means,
JJ.
Honestly, I'm so scared how charred it's going to be when I go downstairs.
if,
I'll send you a picture of just this burnt curry.
hey, if you've got to go, you've got to go. It's not a problem. We've done a good. Wow, we've been at this a little while.
Yeah, this is good though. Any time you want to do it again, now I finally know how to work Instagram Live. Then yes,
No,
any time.
If you want to get, I'll just I'll quickly, if you're interested, I'll quickly just give you two of my celebrity.
Yeah, go
quick,
on,
simple
go
stories.
for it.
Firstly, I have poked Brian Molko, and
Poked
I love to phrase it that way because you know,
like it's
um,
in like on Facebook poke, or like you literally like made contact with him.
As in, I was at the gig and I kind of went, "Oh, is that Brian?" And as I kind of turned and pointed, he walked right into me.
Oh,
I was
so
like,
he walked into your poke, yeah.
And it was indeed Brian Molko. That was the end of our interaction. Luckily, it wasn't in his eye or anything. I mean, he's like 3 foot tall, so it's kind of sort of hard to do that lying down. I mean, I'm small, but that dude, like, I'm sure if I ever need help getting like, you know, a small ring up a big hill, I'm calling Brian for help. You know.
I bet he's like taller than me now. You said that.
How tall is he? He's like 5.
No,
he's like 5'2".
He was small and he was in heels, you know.
Oh,
so
right.
Damn.
So it's
Well, we're like
small.
5'4", so I don't know. Do you reckon he's taller than us, or?
I think I'm 5'5.5", nearly 5'6", but not quite.
Yeah, I'm
Just round yourself up. It makes you feel better. I'm 5'3", but I say 5'4" because it makes me feel nicer.
I don't wear heels though.
Maybe 5'2".
I'd be taller. I'd be taller in heels.
I'll let you borrow my platforms, Dan. You can have my platforms.
Oh, thank you.
My other one is Max Cavalera.
Okay.
Cool.
Pretty much his entire family. We were at a Soulfly show, and some grungy little kids just came like sliding on their knees as kids do along smooth floors, and slammed straight into me. And his wife Gloria came running up, all apologetic, trying to get the kids in. And Max was like, "What's going on?" and kind of came out, and it was like, "It's fine. It's not a fucking. I barely even noticed. You know, it's not like I was like face smashed into the floor, blood everywhere. You know, nose.
It could have been worse. You could have like smashed into his children, then that probably would have.
Exactly. Yeah. But they were so fucking sweet and apologetic, and it was like way worse than that's going to happen to me when I get in that mosh pit when you guys get up there. You know.
Oh
like,
God, yeah.
I came here prepared to go home bruised. It's really not an issue.
Far worse things are going to happen. You might hear some material off the first Soulfly album. That'd be pretty bad. So,
but it was because I really liked Sepultura, and then the sort of the split happened, and then Soulfly played my favorite local venue like for about 5 years in a row within about 3 days of my birthday.
Oh wow.
So it was
Oh.
like, well, we're not doing
Mm.
that. Sometimes it was as much for the support act as anything else. We saw Limp Bizkit on, I think it was like the first UK tour, and supporting them, and they were like so good. And they're an easy target to take the piss. And I haven't seen them since, to be honest, live. But back then, they were so hungry, so raw, and they were genuinely really fucking good.
Yeah.
I think Machine Head, we saw support them, a few others. The Workhorse Movement, who nobody remembers.
I remember that. Yeah.
I thought it was a great album. Very of its time, maybe not too much legs on it, but of its time. That old new metal thing, it was as good as a lot of other shit that was around at the time. But yeah. So
there's a link for
the
you.
best two.
There's a link for you. The new version of Sepultura. JJ did a first ever crowd surf last year to Sepultura at Bloodstock. I got a video.
My first ever festival.
These legs sort of
my first
disappearing in
ever
the sea of
crowd surf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing, you know, and I wasn't gonna do it, right, because I was like, oh my god, like what if I just perish in this sea of people? And then I saw like an 8-year-old boy do it, and I was like, if he can do it, that takes the piss. I'm gonna do it. So I just got up there.
Was it an 8-year-old boy or was it Brian Molko?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it could have been him, you know.
An 8-year-old boy with a bald spot.
Yeah, I mean, wait, oh my god, he was actually like bald. This child was bald. So I was like, if this child can do it, then like I'm doing it, you know, like what's stopping me? So I remember just like, okay, Dan, Ev, like hold all my shit. So I gave them everything that I owned, everything out of my pockets, and then I, you know, waded my way through the crowd, and I just saw this like 6'5", really buff, metal looking dude, and I was like, I just tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, can you lift me up, please? And he just picked me up like I was nothing and just threw me on top of all these people. And then I just glided. It was so smooth. So it was honestly amazing. And I was so happy. And I was like, I want to do it again. So, yeah, no, it was brilliant. Now I can crowd surf. So. But oh my god, there was a woman next to me though. She got dropped, so they picked her up pretty much at the same time as me, like this other guy. And I went over, and then she was right after me, and she just disappeared into the crowd, and she was like on crutches and everything. And I was like, oh god, like I hope she's okay. Like she's just disappeared into a sea of really meaty dudes, you know.
So as awesome as it feels, crowd surfing, it's not quite flying. But I swear to God, I'll let you go after I just let you tell me if you can have one superpower. What are you gonna have?
Oh damn!
To be able to eat dairy again.
Oh god, yeah, no. To be able to just have ice cream and pizza without consequence. That would be like a realistic one, you know. Another one, I have options. Like I want loads of superpowers. Like I already know what I want. So one would to be like become immortal as soon as I hit 21. Like that's it. Just I stop aging. I become immortal. I can never die. And then two.
You've got to see everyone around you's gonna die.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that eternal sadness.
There's new people.
Yeah, but I want to be able to go up to like I want to be able to like jump off a building but without the consequence. Like I just want to know what it, you know. I want to get stabbed but like not die. So it's just really weird. My other one would be I think it'd be really cool to be able to like pause, like stop, rewind, and fast forward time. Like I just love that. Like to be able to like control time like that, I'd love it, because I'd fuck with people. Like someone would be talking to me, I'd pause, and then I would like go and pull their trousers down and then come back and then be like, what, you pervert.
Yeah, it's called a sexual offence, JJ. I think, you know. Just because you're a superhero doesn't mean you're above the law.
No one can catch me. No one can catch me.
I'd have a very similar one because I remember, like, when I was a kid, I watched an episode of The Twilight.
Is he gone off for you as well, or is it just me? Oh, okay.
Okay. We
Daniel, audio is gone. We can't hear you.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
I'm on 10%.
All right, that'll do it.
10%. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on 10%. So less than that. So my phone's about to die. So if I disappear, it's not me just bailing. It's that. So yeah,
So,
I'll be able to freeze time.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been Dan and JJ of Lesbian Bed Death. Light up the socials, get on the YouTube, all of that. Check them out. Buy some tickets, buy some merch, fund the movie. If you weren't here at the beginning, you'll be watching it back again. You'll know all about it as soon as you hit them up. Help them out. Fantastic people, fantastic band. This has been great. I can't thank you enough for doing it.
Not a problem.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
It's been super
for having us. If you want us back, let us know.
Oh, definitely. So, as the sun sets slowly in the west, we'll bid you a fond farewell, kids.
Yes, take it easy. Bye. Go eat your curry, JJ.
I will.
Bye for now.